Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky here today with the new video. I'm gonna have to kick up the sound with this one because I am finally back. I was sick for 3 weeks. Yeah, cold, sinus infection, going into bronchitis, and lost my voice completely for a week. But we're coming back. We're coming back and stronger than ever. So this is a new product to me. They've been around a while. It's GIRLCULT. Yes, and I've heard a lot of great things about it, and I'm like, I want to try this. And so their latest collection, I'll put the name to the side, is here. And what they tend to do is they'll release a few eyeshadow palettes within the collection, and I ended up picking up 2. I think there's only 2 eyeshadow palettes, but don't quote me on that. There is one that is more blue. I did pick it up, which if you know my channel, you know I really don't like blue, so I don't know why I do it, but I do. Got to play with it a little bit, but not enough to really review it. And then this one that's a little bit more neutral, and I feel that that's normally how they go about things. You'll have the more dramatic palette and then the more neutral, and I got both. I tend to be the more neutral, but there you go. So the packaging's really great, actually really great. I mean, just fantastic. It's just sleek, beautiful. This is something I would want to leave out on my counter. Absolutely. Just very nice. So this is what it looks like right here. And it's just beautiful. I mean, it's very simple. What I like about this is the smaller pans, which is fantastic. And you can get through these in a lifetime if you really want to. And what I like about it is just how smart it is. It's warm, neutral, and cool all at the same time. Now, I'm a cool tone with very fair skin, leaning towards neutral, but cool neutral. Yeah. So lately I've been liking a good cool look lately. So this was just fantastic for me. I loved it. Actually, today I am going with a cool tone look. This is the eyeshadow from the palette, and it's fantastic. So let me do the swatches first for those who were here for that, and then we'll go into the 3 different looks I did, including this one today, and talk it out. Here are the 4. So just really quickly here, pretty colors. It's interesting how beautiful they are in that. Oh, I just wiped on a bag that was not my wipey. Yeah, we'll be paying for that later. So that's what it looks like, which is kind of surprising. I mean, the one is very light. That's the first 4 swatches. This one is exceptionally white, and I think that that is not going to show up on most people. And for me, I use colors like that. I know most people wouldn't, but I do because it works for my skin tone. So I can use it to basically, after put my base coat on, to adhere the shadows to my eyes because I have oily skin. I use light shades like that, or I will also use them for blending purposes if I just want that perfect blend. And let's just put on a little bit more so you can see what that looks like. So that's the first row, the first 4 shades. And then we have the second row here, so you can see what that looks like here. And there you go. Stains the fingers. Now just know that some of these are very intense, but that's what it looks like. See how beautiful that is? So you can definitely see, even looking at a lot of these swatches, where the cool tones are towards the top, cool neutral, except for this little guy that kind of sneaks in. But it's a very balanced palette in such an interesting way, in that it's cool tone, it's neutral, and it's warm all at the same time. So if you are leaning towards neutral from cool or warm, this is like your dream palette. It's mine. So there you go. It is just absolutely beautiful, and that's what it looks like. So the first day I kind of wanted to go with the more neutral look because I was going out, and so I don't tend to do a lot of bright eye looks in general. I tend to do very everyday friendly. You can go to any kind of office setting, anything doctor's appointment, whatever, and wear it. That tends to be my style, except with lipsticks where I go a little bit wilder. So there you go. Like today, I just wanted to make sure. So, the first look that I did, I used, very neutral kind of color. So I used this. I used this a lot to blend or to just prep my eye. And then I used this color. So basically this one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. And, it just turned out to be a really beautiful look. Very, very simple, very easy. You could wear a dark lipstick at this time of year with it. Pop of red, pop of brown. I tend to like the browns and reds. Anything with it, like that's a darker lip color. Or you could just go with really understated with a lip gloss or a lighter lip. And it would just be a beautiful everyday kind of look. So then I finally was well enough to go out for Thanksgiving. Yay. So for Thanksgiving, I ended up wearing this. So this is a bolder color. I went in with, of course, this color and this color. So this in the crease, this around the whole lid, like on the outside, and also worked it into the crease, and then put this beautiful multi-chrome in there. So it's kind of hard to read that it is a multi-chrome, but it is indeed. There we go. See, it's really hard to read. I know, it's kind of hard to read. Maybe it's looking better on camera. I'm trying to use a mirror here to see. Yeah, no, you can see it definitely has that shifty tone. So it's just absolutely beautiful. And it's interesting because actually I used these three colors right here to create the look on Thanksgiving. These three right here. And it just created such a beautiful look. It was just, I enjoyed it. A little bit bolder than I normally go, but I loved it. It's hard to tell with this lighting that I use, but just gorgeous. I loved it. It is like the perfect fall kind of look. And I went out with a lot of confidence with it. It was like, this is gorgeous, beautiful. Now the look that I'm doing today is a combination of basically, so the purple is going to be very difficult on a lot of people. Okay, that purple is going to be very, very difficult. And even for me who is really fair skin. So what I decided to do was mix it with this color here. Believe it or not, and they actually created this beautiful kind of like grayish color, and it worked really well. It's just like a gorgeous cool tone neutral. And I love it. I think it's so beautiful. And then to kind of darken it up, I just went in on the outer corner with this color here to give it a little bit of depth. But this palette isn't really about... So this is, if you don't know about GIRLCULT, it's a Chinese brand. And it's pretty popular from what I understand over there. And it has a lot of interest here in the States. And so because of that, sometimes the way that they do it, I don't really know Chinese makeup as much as I do like the Korean aesthetic. We tend to do a lot of the outer shading to give it more of a dramatic effect. And I know in Korea and also in Japan, a lot of the time they don't do that as much. Sometimes they do, but that's a lot of the times more of a Western look. A lot of the time they'll do across the eye with one thing or blend it together to make more of a cohesive blend rather than having lighter to out. So, and that may change over time, trends. So that's just right now. And like I said, I don't know much about the Chinese makeup market as much as Korean and somewhat Japanese. So that's a look that I tried to get from it. You don't have to, but that's what I did. And even still, it wasn't a dramatic look. It just wasn't. So it kind of looks like one and done in the end anyway, but it's just beautiful. And look at the sparkle on that pink. So what I did with these was I would put the color like this on the lid, like when I did the Thanksgiving look, and then put the sparkle on top of it just to make it really pop. But with this, I did the same. I did the exact same thing. But to be honest, I was a little bit nervous about this one because it didn't swatch that well originally. And part of it is because it's on my skin tone. It looks gorgeous, but I wanted more. I wanted more. So what I did was I put a glitter glue on just to let it stick a little more. And oh my gosh, it is beautiful. Look at that sparkle. Oh, let me tell you, I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, a lot of the time with Korean makeup, the color payoff is very light. And so I always tell people when I review Korean makeup, you can't judge it by Western standards. And what that means is they tend to go with them with a lighter, it doesn't tend to be as pigmented, which to be honest with you, I prefer. I'd rather be able to build up a look than have to try to blend it out because I am so fair. So I'm kind of the opposite of most people. And so what I like about Korean makeup is I don't have to worry about it being too dark on me. I can lightly build it up and I'm happy with it. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be the same with this, being that it's a Chinese brand. These are pigmented. These are really pigmented. But what I will say is that the formula is fantastic. I didn't expect to love this as much as I did. Gosh, they blend so beautifully. They just blend out so beautifully. Now this one's pretty intense, but you can just, there you go. This is the darkest, and look at how it blends. It sticks to my finger a lot. It really, it's hard to, like, you got to get used soap and water to get that off. But look at the blend on that. And that's the darkest color right here. Look at that blend. That's just using my finger. I'm not even using a brush and doing it for a long period of time to really blend it out. So it's just, oh, the blend on these are fantastic. The special shades are fantastic. And what I like about this is it's so delicate. The sparkles are so delicate. It's not like metallic where you put it on. Let's say you have dry eyes or creased eyes or aging eyes, more mature eyes. It could get in the creases and really not look fantastic. This doesn't do it because it's just a beautiful twinkle. So it's a very light formula, so it just skims over the surface and looks beautiful. So if you have any of those issues, then I think this would be a beautiful formula for you. Oh my gosh, such a beautiful formula. And I love it. It doesn't just cake on and look to be too much. It's very light. It's like a brush of color. But sometimes when you use the topper shades, and these aren't really toppers to me, but when you use those kind of shades, it's like twinkly, but it doesn't really give you full coverage, or it's just not enough. This gives full coverage, and it is enough. And yet it still doesn't look heavy on the eyes. It just looks beautiful and twinkly and fairy-like and mysterious if you want it to be, or feminine, romantic if you want it to be, or you can go with the bolder look. And that's what I like about this too. There's only 8 shades. There's 8 shades, and there are 3 special shades, and then 4 or 5 mattes. 5 mattes, 3 special shades. But you could go with really dreamy romantic looks. You could go with everyday neutral looks, or you can go with bold looks with this. Yes, there aren't a lot. You would basically be stuck with more of a warm tone, but you can definitely create some gorgeous looks with this. I mean, you're not gonna be able to create like 8 different amazing different looks. They're gonna look kind of similar because you're very limited to what's here. But honestly, I could have created 3 more looks at least that would have been different enough from what I presented. And honestly, I love this. I love this. The blending quality is fantastic. The shimmers are fantastic. The duochrome isn't overly shifty here. It's not overly shifty, but I'm okay with that. It's just gorgeous. I would keep this out, and if I was traveling, I would take this because of the different looks I could have every day. I could go warm, I can go cool, I can go neutral, I can call it a day. And if I wanted a night out, I would go more warm tone. Period. The wear time on this, fantastic. I will say I have oily skin. I always break through mattes. The matte stayed very beautiful for about 3 to 4 hours, and then they started to seep through a bit. The oil comes through and it looks more like a satin. It doesn't crease. It doesn't fade. It just becomes a satin, but that's normal for me. So I get 3 to 4 hours of matte, and then it starts to look satin. And it did fade a little bit. I will say it did fade a little bit, but it wasn't like anything that anyone would really notice from the beginning to the end of the day. Nobody's looking that closely. The special shades stayed put. They did not alter. They did not change. Sometimes with the lighter shades, like these, During the end of the day, they will slightly get darker as the oil comes through, so they'll like darken half a shade. This did not happen with this, but oh my gosh, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. This is like one of the best palettes I've tried this year. Yeah, I said it. I'm a new consumer. I will be buying this again, just so you know. I'm going to be looking forward to the newer lines. And after I tried this, I went on and bought some more from Yes Style. You can get it from Yes Style. And they have a Black Friday sale. And I went and bought more because this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. Yeah. I can see why people talk about this brand a lot. Maybe not enough, but it's GIRLCULT. And I'd heard about it, and it's kind of interesting because when you think of a lot of the times like an alternative culture of makeup, kind of like we have that more out here where you'll have like Black Moon Cosmetics or Ritual de Fille, you know, you have things like that that are a little bit more alternative. I don't necessarily, and maybe this is me just being kind of naive, don't think about that because I'm more into Korean makeup, that I don't think of an alternative kind of scene, you know, in Korea or Japan. Of course I know there is, but it's not as forward in their makeup. You know, to find a brand that does that tends to be more of the romantic, cutesy, pretty. It's interesting because like China's like, nah, we have it. So I love the fact that China's like, we have it, and they do it in an amazing way. Like I love that, and it's such a smart brand because every time they release something more of that romantic, beautiful, you know, pretty look, fairy twinkles, and then they bring out a palette that's like, hold my beer, you know. So I love that. I love that so much. This is just fantastic. I am looking forward to trying way more products from GIRLCULT. I give this like a 10 out of 10. Straight up. I bought this out of my pocket. Nobody's sponsoring me. No. Straight up 10 out of 10. And it's rare when I'm giving something a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I'm keeping this on my counter. I'll be wearing it often. This is not going hidden away somewhere as I try to get through my whole collection this coming year. No. It's staying on my counter. That great, and I'm traveling with it. And please don't let it break because I will be heartbroken. But yeah, that is my review. It's fantastic. What more can I say? So let me know what you think down below. Have you used GIRLCULT before? What do you think about it? We know what I think. And let me know down below. And until next time, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.